All right.
So,
Ready? You are.
um, scuba diving. Scuba diving is an underwater activity. You go to some sort of body of water, which is, let me find you a video of how it might uh, look for you. Um, you go to a body of water, you take a lot of equipment with you. And then, as you can see, there is a lot of different tubes. You're wearing special suit. You're wearing special device that is helping you to stay afloat at the depths that you want to. There's a lot of water above you. Um, this human is trying to go down and it's not really working. And as you can see, we wear a special mask because without some air in front of your eyes, you will not be able to see underwater. You see an extremely blurry version of blue. Um, I tried taking off my mask underwater and you cannot. The difference between your child and the shark does not exist when you don't wear a mask. Um, so you are in a very unusual position when you do anything, and of course there are other humans who are completely not paying attention to you and doing their own thing. For example, sketching. You have a whole bunch of equipment that you need to fix not only for your comfort but also to survive underwater. You take your air with you, and the significant portion of your mind is completely and utterly occupied by the idea that you need to take care of this equipment and in order to not die. So it's driving. It's a drawing activity where only part of your mind can be allocated into drawing. And you are in a horizontal position. You have a whole bunch of water moving around you. You have your pencils and paper that which I'll talk in a minute about. But the important part that you need to know about is there is a lot of there is no other way to uh, put it. There's a lot of wildlife that is actually going around you. So this is an example of how it looked for me on Maldives, and this ball of fish was swimming all around me, just like around this human you see right now. This is basically your situation. So you have a whole bunch of things that are coming at you, and you are you need to not only pay attention to them, but also try and not be too distracted by all of this stuff. There are also other humans. You have to admit that for safety reasons, humans have to be with you. And here's me drawing. You have to not lose them because they are your backup source for all the life-saving equipment. But they sometimes have their own agenda. They want to go and look behind that rock or maybe explore what kind of fish is over there. And it's also an important part of your experience of drawing. I would like to start with showing you some of the materials that I use underwater. I originally started with Write in the Rain all-weather notebooks. This is a wonderful company. They were kind enough to sponsor me when I had my Alaska artist in residence wilderness experience. And this works very well underwater, but it has some components that are this is not completely synthetic paper, and it's a beautiful paper to draw on. As you can see, I did my first sketch on it, but it's a little bit different from plastic papers, which are traditional. This is a scuba diving notebook that you buy in a scuba diving store, and field notes. They have the all-weather version, and this is a completely plastic UPA kind of paper. This particular sketchbook was with me scuba diving. As you can see, you can probably see all the staples are rusted a little
Mhm.
bit. Um, so this is how I got into plastic paper, which is often called stone paper. It has nothing to do, well, it has to do something with stone, but it's not, it's still a plastic paper. It's a plastic material that holds pieces of stone together. It's a very smooth paper. I buy a bigger version of a notebook and then I cut it down to the size of my support board. Unfortunately, I cannot show you my support board because I lost it during one of my scuba diving experiences recently. And it this is actually one of the challenges of drawing underwater. Everything, when you draw above water, if you drop a pencil, it goes on the floor next to you. If you
Mhm.
draw underwater, whatever you lose sight of, whatever you are no longer holding, it goes above you and it floats to the surface. And the rules of scuba diving is you cannot ascend to the surface quickly because your lungs will explode basically, and it will not end well. So when I
We've never
saw
had like
my
fun drawing facts like this. Your lungs might explode.
yeah When I saw my board float away to the surface, I was probably at about 25 feet depth. And me and all my scuba buddies were looking at it slowly ascend. It was faster than we could follow, so we could not go
Yeah.
and rescue it. But we saw it float away, and I no longer have a support board. But I do have a similar board, which I use. This is a PVC board. It's very light, it's very sturdy, it's positively buoyant, so it will float away. Next time, I will glue some pieces of metal so that it would stay neutral. Neutral means when I
Mm.
drop it, when I let go of it, it's no longer goes down like this, and it no longer floats away from me uh, to the surface. So I have my paper, I have my support board, and the water around you is moving constantly. It's a little bit like standing in a wind, which is sometimes gusty, but it's constantly, constantly certain amount of wind around you. So I used all sorts of rubber bands to hold my paper to my support board, and I use all sorts of little devices to hold my drawing materials. These are just hair bands, which I put a whole bunch of them on my hands, and this is how I draw underwater. Um, so we'll look at this is another example of how you might hold a whole bunch of pencils. I just stick them. Uh, Art materials underwater dissolve. If you can probably see, let me show a little bit closer. This is a pencil that came with me from my recent scuba diving experience, and it's not only blunt, it's also cracked. Here's another example of a pencil. The lead just fell out. The lead is held by glue, and between the pressure,
This demo is just about destroying your art materials. I love it.
yes, very much so.
In
Um,
horrible ways.
how they float away from you and you say
Yeah.
goodbye to your favorite pencil, which happened to me quite a few times. This is why I mostly use plastic only things. Like this is a scuba diving pencil, and this is a scuba diving pencil that I was trying to fix the other day. Some salt got stuck inside. Um, this is another wonderful scuba diving pencil. It's 6B, so it's very dark. It's plastic only, and you can just screw like this uh, to get your lead out. The thing I wanted to mention is 6B at the depths does not feel like 6B. So right now, if I'll draw with this, it's a very dark pencil, as you can see. But at the depths, because of all the pressure that's applying not only to your body, but also to your art materials, they all become, I don't know, maybe 2B from 6B, maybe even just hard pencils. To give you an example, this is a pencil I took with me on my very first scuba diving adventure. You see, I was prepared. I used super glue to glue it, and it's a normal pencil. You can see it makes a very reasonable dark mark, but under 70 feet of water, it was basically impossible to see. It was not making any mark. The hardest pencil would be darker than this one. Um, so with this, my art materials underwater, it's always a trial and error, and there are some things that work for me. And I will be showing you how what exactly works and how I do that right away. I will open my link as soon as I find my cursor. Um, Let me open the link that we do the Google Maps, and I will start drawing. My plan is to do this scene very quickly and to do it 3 times because underwater I draw supreme very quickly. Everything is moving. You are under a constant pressure because nothing stands still, including yourself. And I think if I'll show you how fast I draw and what kind of materials I draw, it would be the most interesting thing. So my first idea is that I will use just a pencil, nothing else. And in a scene like this, the humans would be moving all the time. Knowing what kind of equipment they have and how it works helps a little bit because then you can expect and understand what is going on with their number of different tubes and pipes that are coming out of people. Unfortunately, it's very hard to see human expressions underwater. I'd love to draw that one day because people are so excited underwater. Um, I usually think about how the body is positioned and what are the most important for me parts. So the legs and the tank is a very important part for me. The tank is where the air is held. So I would take care of one human and then I would quickly do the other human. I'll exaggerate the hair a little bit. Hair in the water is a separate story. It's a lot of fun to watch how long hair floats around someone. And it's a lot of fun not only for you, but for the wildlife around you as well. As I mentioned before, you are in a very wild space where creatures come to you. They're not afraid of you. I've been poked by um, a barracuda, the uh,
Okay, that
uh,
is not a small fish.
it's not a small fish. Yes, I've had situations when harbor seals and sea lions would come and blow bubbles into your mask or try to untie your rock shoes. Um, obviously jellyfish and normal fish are all over the place. This is a constant struggle, by the way. I think that I have more space, but I actually cannot remove this underwater because then this will float away and this will float away. So I constantly go up and down. I move it in different directions, but now that my hands moved, I realized that this is a problem that I often face. Um, I had I saw a bird underwater, which is a huge distraction. You turn around and all of a sudden you see a bird and you go like, am I hallucinating? Um, I've had a situation when a rather small, probably about this big, fish, which is called surgeonfish. It's a beautiful fish. Let me quickly draw you how it looks. It has very distinct pattern on its side. And they are extremely dependent of their nests. So males defend an area on a surface where there are eggs, and they would bite you. You would come over um, to look at their eggs, and they would come very close to you and then take a bite at your fingers, which is a thing when you're drawing and all of a sudden something starts biting you. So lots of these um, creatures, they enjoy anything that moves freely underwater. Lots of coral moves with the water. And human hair looks a lot like that. So I've seen how fish um, basically floats inside someone's hair. And then I tried to draw that, but it was too hilarious. So I see several different fishes here, and I will add just a couple more details. I got this fin, and I'm not sure what this is, but this human is basically done. I'll add a couple of tubes, and I would probably add one more fish here.
Nina, we have two questions.
Uh-huh.
I will start with the second one, which is by Mark. Have you had to fight nitrogen narcosis while diving and drawing? Sorry.
No, because I do scuba dive with elevated amount of oxygen in my mix, which is there is a danger of nitrogen narcosis at certain depths, but I never experienced it. One of the wonderful things about my scuba diving experience is I always have my scuba diving buddy with me, and he is very consistently taking care of controlling our depth. If we get too low, he alerts me way before we would get into any problems. I'm going to stop. This is when I usually lose this. Underwater, I go like this, right underwater, and sometimes I hold it here, but then this part of paper would start flipping
Yeah.
all the time. So my next sketch, I'll do the same scene, but this time what I'm going to do is I will use a little bit different materials. And I will be using red and blue pencil. The beauty of this is that you have one body but two colors at the same time. And I usually take my black pencil with me, and I usually take a yellow pencil with me. As I mentioned before, I rarely use blue underwater, and I do enjoy imagining colors more vividly than they are, and I use my flashlight to look at things to see what color they are. And when I use these, I try to use them with a side. This way I can cover a much bigger surface much faster.
Mhm.
Because they're moving, this is a very gestural drawing for me, and that's what I would do in real life. I would go just try to capture the big shape. Um, so there's fish here, here, and there is a rock here, and there is a rock here. And now all the colors, because of the water that's above you, because of the depth and pressure, all the colors are different. So when you look at your pencil, it doesn't look red and blue. I know that they're red and blue, so my brain tells me they're red and blue. But if you would look just um, just from out of the blue, they would not look red and blue to you. And it presented a particular challenge when I took a whole bunch of oil pastels with me, which I will use next. Let me quickly finish this. So uh, blue is darker than the red, so I'm adding some details with that. And this, I'm not sure what this hand is doing, but I know that this hand is holding something, maybe.
There's another question by Suhita, and
Uh-huh.
it's about the paper. Um,
Oh, hmm.
let me. Sorry, where is
It's a,
it? Sorry, I lost it. Suhita, tell us. What was the question? I lost it. It was about UPO paper, right?
Oh, it
What's
was
the
just
advantage of?
why stone better than Yupo?
um, stone paper you can buy on Amazon for much cheaper than Yupa. Basically, that's the main reason.
Mhm.
Yupa is an established company with a lot of marketing budget, but basically it's the same. When I put together a profession, I bought a few pieces, a few sheets, and I cut them. And when I drew one next to another, there was no significant difference.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a name brand thing.
Yeah.
But I think also that UPO does not have because the stone paper is ground up stone, and some kind of plastic glue to hold it all together. And I think Yupo, I'm not sure it has stone content. I think it's like some kind of plastic fiber. I think stone paper also has a lot of weight, and Yupo does not.
Mhm.
Hmm.
When I was dealing with one sheet of paper, it was, I guess the weight is such a small, it's really hard to actually measure with your hands. I did not do a scientific measuring, but on a practical level, there wasn't so much of a difference. What I find really helpful when I go scuba diving is to learn a little bit about what kind of creatures I might see. I often bring with me a little fish ID. I can bring it even
Yeah.
underwater and try to pinpoint which fish I'm looking at. But it's also helpful to just look at these and know what kind of creatures you might meet and what kind of identifying things you might find. For example, this is a beautiful, beautiful fish that has glowing scrolls all over it. So these little blue ones, I'll try and zoom in. These little mm, squiggles, blue squiggles on it are actually glowing. When I saw it first time, I thought I might just lose all my brains over there. It looks so. But it's really helpful to know what kind of corals you might see. I'm imagining some things here, just so to give you an example of if you know what kind of corals you might see, you might look for them and then draw them in particular. I do my best to write a date, time, depth at which I'm drawing. And I often put comments. I usually have other divers with me, and because you cannot talk underwater, we exchange little notes. We draw arrows and we point at things this way, and it's a lot of communication happening on the same page where I draw. So I'll make one more fish, and then I will switch to a third type of material that I wanted to showcase. As you can see, this is not, the sketch is very, very rough, but it would capture what I felt when I was there underwater, and these people would probably float away in just a few seconds. So that's all you can do in a minute or so you usually have. So I am switching to the next page.
So today we are really getting 3 demos for the price of 1.
I will attach my rubber band for the sake of being true to the fact that we're imagining ourselves underwater. And I'll give you just a quick demo. How are we doing on time?
Good. You have another 5 to 10 minutes, I think.
Super,
Mhm.
wonderful. I'll do a very quick demo. Bear with me. So to give you an example of how materials work underwater, I have a little basin of water.
I was
Yes,
waiting for this,
me
wondering if this
too.
would happen.
So the regular things that are water soluble, colors that you might be familiar with, color 2s or watercolor pencils, there is water here. So imagine you are underwater and it's moving constantly. And yes, it's really dizzying. So these materials, they do not work underwater because, as you can see, they disappear immediately. Here's color and it looks great. And then it's gone completely.
Uh,
I
It's
can,
crazy how it just washes off.
Yeah. And those are the most like permanent things ever when it's not underwater.
I tried taking color once and they do work well, but as you can see, it draws and it's not easily removable. But the problem with this one is at depth, just as my pencil stopped being a pencil that produces any marks, this color stopped being rich and beautiful color. It became something very, very light and as if it's a HD pencil. So that's why I'm using 6B pencils. And recently on my adventure to Bonaire, I took a whole bunch of oil pastels. I put them in a little pouch just like this, there is a hole on the bottom of this pouch so that the water can get in and it also can get out. Otherwise, if you don't have that hole and you bring the water under a lot of pressure, under 70 feet, under 100 feet of pressure, under 30 meters of water, it will squeeze everything. It will damage your drawing materials. Speaking of, we're talking about how to kill your art materials.
How to damage?
Mhm.
And it will be really hard to get it out. So I made a little hole in the bottom of this little pouch, and I put a whole bunch of different oil pastels. So some of these, I lost my Sennelier, of course, definitely, because it was the most expensive oil pastel. This is a kids Faber-Castell oil pastels.
Mhm.
And these are just oil pastels. I have a collection. The best material I found out is a um, new near color thing from Caran d'Ache. This is the best tool. It works. You can use it on the side. You can use the edge of it. It does not move, as you can see. And it produces beautiful colors. The only and huge problem for me was that underwater, all of these colors look completely different. So I was 100% sure that I lost this one because it looked like a dark, dark purple underwater, almost black. And I thought that, I see something that I'm sure is red. I know um, uh, this creature that I'm looking at. It was a fish, and I was looking for this for a very long time, trying to find it in my pouch, and then I drew with this dark purple, thinking that, well, it's okay, I'll survive somehow, and I'll move this away. When I went up, when I was on the surface, I found out that it actually was the color that I was looking for. So I use these also to block out big shapes. And for this particular case, I will use my blue to show a big, beautiful. You can smudge a little bit underwater, which is a lot of fun. It creates a very, very interesting pattern. I'll show you a couple of examples in just a few minutes when we're done with the demo, and I'll tell you what to do with your sketches after you finished your dive. So, and I'll draw my people again. I'll exaggerate the hair, and I'll leave the mask wide this time. Hands and feet are the most distinctive. Everything else is usually a repeated position, because people assume the easiest position for being underwater, which is lying on the belly with your feet sticking up a little bit. And they keep that position all the time. So parts that actually move are hands and feet. When there are so many fish around you, you can no longer distinguish one from another. I just use shortcuts for them. I do try to draw portraits, meaning I try to draw a particular fish and particular coral head in front of me. But when there is a big overwhelm, which happens often to me underwater, I just use shortcuts, and I use very quick movements to show how I feel about the whole thing. So I'll add the color that you don't see there, but I do know that it's there because I had a chance to shine my light in a scene like this. This particular place, I believe, is in Japan. I've never done it in Japan, but I'm hoping one day to do that. It seems to be a beautiful place for snorkeling as well. Here's something that I wanted to show you. On top of our oil pastels, you can work with pencils. And it was a wonderful um, addition for me because you can have small details after you put a whole bunch of big shapes that are maybe not as descriptive as you wanted, but you can have lots of little details. And smudging some with water just to show you how it might work. It's actually smudges much better underwater.
Nina, can you remind us what crayons or pastels you're using?
So this is a Neocolor. It's their newest
So Caran d'Ache Neocolor
Caran d'Ache Neocolor
one,
Yeah,
or is it something else?
I'll tell you in a second.
Neo Art, maybe?
Neo Art.
Neo
So
Art
this is how it
901,
looks
right?
with the paper
Okay.
around. So this is the same. What's the
I did not know
Neo
about
Art?
this one. I guess it's probably smudgier than the Neocolor one because the Neocolor one is quite hard.
I think it's a product of marriage between Neocolor One and oil pastels.
Okay, I see.
It's harder. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't transfer when you close your sketchbook. Um, I'm I'm really in love with this tool right now. But
Yeah,
it was the best one for the underwater adventure that I had. These are just Munch pastels. Um, I they're just cheap pastels, so they're not soft. They are oil pastels. Soft pastels just disappear completely. Even worse,
yeah,
Yeah. Just
what I
dust.
show you with watercolor.
yeah. Probably the waxier, the better.
Yes, but the waxiest of them all, like Neocolor One, it gets the pressure makes it
Yeah,
harder.
yeah.
So it loses
Okay,
a bit
well,
of you no longer can do, this the
yeah, I
beauty
see.
of having working with the side and not doing too much pressure,
Yeah.
it disappears. So say I'm done. I would finish my dive. I would safely ascend to the surface. And after that, I have a piece of paper. I have many pieces of paper filled with sketches and with notes and everything, and they're all salty and wet. And the thing that I need to do after I finished my dive is wash them. So I often put them all over the place like in a kitchen or in a bathroom, like wall of sketches all over the place. Um, and they dry. You have to really wash them with fresh water so that all the salt is gone. Otherwise, your sketchbook will become salty and it will actually rot a bit. And then after I'm done, let me show you, I tape them into my regular sketchbook. Here is an example of this is one sketch. And then on another page, I cut out several parts um, of other sketches to overlap and to show you. So this was a wall with corals, and this was a sea turtle that I saw, and this is a stingray. And I wasn't sure whether it was a stingray, so I put a question mark. But later it was confirmed that it was a stingray.
Is that magic pencil?
Yes, it's also one of the things that I enjoy drawing with a lot. I have this. I believe I showed it before. It's a little wristband where I put a bunch of pencils like this, and Magic Pencil is one of my favorite tools. It's surprisingly, this one has been with me on probably 15 dives. Actually probably 30 dives. So I'd survived at least 2 trips. And it's still alive. Many others just crack and die.
Yeah.
Let me show.
One last question.
Uh-huh.
So Hita is asking, do you have to press really hard to draw underwater?
If your pencil is hard, yes. And it's really hard because you don't have any support for your hand. That's why I mostly bring materials that are very soft, like that 6B pencil. I recently purchased this, and this is a carpenter's pencil, but it's harder than I can use underwater. It's basically I have to
Mhm.
really press and it's not working.
Mhm.
This is an example of my situation where I was very close to a whole bunch of sharks. And I tried just to use minimum materials, only my pencil, and draw the frenzy around the feeding bucket. This was a bucket filled with some rotten fish for them to eat. And this is another example. I would come back with this from underwater, but then based on what I saw underwater, I would do some research and I would draw other things, asking questions, writing notes. This is how my actual sketchbook looks like after. So this was brought from underwater and the rest was filled after. And
Very cool.
that's it.
Wow.
Thank you so
What a
much.
what a
That was,
journey.
yeah, that was a journey. I think it made us think about materials in a whole new way.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of respect for what you do. Because
Thank you very
it
much.
sounds like a stressful situation, a
It is,
wonderful but
but it's
stressful
amazingly
situation.
beautiful. It's
Yes,
it's a,
yes.
you get to see wildlife so close. Um,
Hmm.
it's you. There's no other way to get that. I wish everyone would try at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How rewarding.
wonderful. I suggest we move on to our next wonderful